trying to eat in front of you.
All right, we're ready.
Great. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah, so much better than before.
Okay, good. I feel so weird that I'm on your TV screen. And I literally just rolled out of bed, slept in, did my 20-minute range and repair for 6 weeks of the work, and put a new tank top on. So I need a shower. I need all the things. So sorry, I'm not super presentable. And I just told Amanda I've been sick for 2 weeks. So if I need to stop and blow my nose or sound like a man, just ignore it. I'm getting better. So I am excited to talk to you guys today, though. It's super fun that you're down in Breckenridge in Colorado. How many of you had to travel from out of state?
All of us. 5. Jillian and Kate C. live here in Denver, and the rest traveled from 5.
Awesome. Is this anyone's first time in Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It?
Amy, we're starting.
Actually, in Colorado, I'm just probably 5 or 6 hours north of you guys right now. I'm up in Fort Collins. Love it here. I've lived in Colorado for 3 years now, so I'm glad you're enjoying the mountains and the views and all that fun stuff. So today, you guys, I know you're hearing from a couple speakers after me as well, and I know they're talking a little bit more on tangible tips like inviting and the actions needed for the business. And I'm going to actually take it the complete other direction and talk about not even mindset, but slowing down a little bit. And this is kind of probably completely opposite of what you hear on some of the national wake-up calls or other trainings. And that's not to say any of those are wrong. There's no right or wrong. I want you to really take time in this and get your mindset right and think about what's going to be best for you. So when you do listen to the other calls and you do listen to trainings and you do listen to national wake-up calls, you can take a step back and think, how do I want to run my business? And all those tangible tips and the inviting and the follow-ups and the connections are all so, so important. And I'm going to touch on that too. But I'm just going to take it a little bit opposite of the direction. So just bear with me, because as someone said, I forget your name, I'm sorry, I'm looking right at you though. You just said, we change as a coach. We change from, what was your name again? Kate. I should just guess Kate, because I know there's 2 Kates, so I at least have a chance to get it right. We change as a coach. And I spoke at the Denver Super Saturday in April 2018, maybe, and I talked all about systems. I put my systems up on the screen. I talked about streak. I talked about follow-ups. I talked about inviting, literally what I do in my business, step by step by step. And I was always searching for that next thing, that next training that was going to take me to the next level, the next ads training, the next marketing training, the next everything. And I was always I'm super driven and business oriented and just tell me what to do and I'll do it. And that's what I got up on stage and talked about. And then it was funny because about a year later or a couple, I forget, Amanda, when that, March, I have it written down. March of this year, I talked at another Denver event that we had to coach lunch and learn. And I said, guys, I got up on stage and talked to you about systems, and now I'm talking to you about something completely different. But my comfort zone is systems. I love talking about systems. I love telling you what to do step by step and do it, and your business is going to grow. But this is really out of my comfort zone. I'm normally the systems girl. I'm normally the step by step. But we change as coaches and we change in our lives and we evolve. And I truly do believe having systems and structure is important, but none of that's going to matter if the space between your ears, your mind, is not in the right spot. If you do not have the right mindset, if you don't have just so many things about your mind, mental health is so, so, so important. And it's my own journey I've had to go on as well. So I'm actually going to talk to you about that today. So again, consistency is important. I would not be talking to you today if I was not consistent in my business. I can honestly tell you, I've been coaching. November is actually 4 years for me, which is crazy. The end of November, right around Thanksgiving. Who starts between Thanksgiving and Christmas? I did. Right? I think it makes for really good coaches. But I can honestly tell you, in my first year or 2 of my business, and even all 4 years now, I probably missed, I give the first year as an example because I was working full-time in corporate America, 50 hours a week. And for part of that, I was finishing my master's online in grad school, and I didn't miss a single power hour. I could maybe count on one hand how many power hours I missed in that first year of my business, and that started my foundation. So the consistency is so important. You have to do the work, but I really believe it's the consistency in the work with like 90% mindset is what's going to get you the results. So the first thing I want you guys to do this morning is just close your eyes for a minute, and no peeking, no opening them. I know it's going to feel a little bit awkward, but just close your eyes and take a deep breath in your nose and out your mouth. And do that for a couple more seconds. I could see all of you right now, I'd be looking to see if anyone was peeking, but the girls that I can see have not, so that's good. Okay, I want you to open your eyes. Was that a little bit awkward for anyone? No.
Not really. We just did a bunch of this after Pio too.
I like this team. I like this team. Okay, when I do that though, when I did that in Denver, it was really awkward for people. When I looked around, people were opening their eyes. Some people didn't shut them at all. I'm like, come on, I'm asking you for like 10 seconds of your time to shut your eyes. And it is so hard for some people to sit in silence. And I was one of those people. Last year, if you would have had me do that, I would be like, I can't sit here. I have a million things to do. I could be sending invites. I could be building my business. I could be cleaning the kitchen. Like, you want me to just sit here in silence and like meditate? Like, why? That's such a waste of time is what I would have said back then. I've come so far since then. But when is the last time that you think you maybe sat in silence for 10 or 20 minutes? Like, do you think you maybe did that in the last week, in the last month? Raise your hand if you think you sat in silence for 10 or 20 minutes in the last month.
It does it daily.
I meditate every day.
Yeah.
It's been life-changing for my business and for my life.
Yeah.
Yes, good. So a couple of you said yes, a couple of you said no. And I think that's pretty normal. And normally it's even less people that say yes. It's like, no, I don't have time to just sit in silence for 10 or 20 minutes a day. But I want to challenge you to start doing that, whether it's right when you wake up in the morning. And it doesn't count if you're reading your devotional or reading personal development. Like, that's all really important, but that's not just sitting in silence. That is not just sitting there and doing nothing and letting your thoughts come. Do you know how scared a lot of us are of our own thoughts? Like, you have to let those thoughts come in throughout the day and give yourself a chance to just sit. And I know if you have kids, you're like, that's hard, but find a time. Maybe it's right when they go down to bed, or maybe it's before they wake up in the morning. And you don't have to start with 20 minutes, but start with 5, start with 2. And it's not, I'm sitting in silence eating breakfast, is I'm just sitting here doing nothing. And it can be hard, but it's really going to elevate not just your business, but your life. So I really want my talk to be on not just business. It will apply to business, but I want it to change your life as well. So we're constantly doing all the things, going on full speed, and sometimes we're driving so fast towards our business goals, like we're just driving in a truck 70 miles an hour down I-70 or whatever, and we're just driving metaphorically in our business. But what if we're driving with the emergency brakes on, and we're like feeling like we're doing all the things, and we're going, but we're just not getting anywhere. We're not getting to our goals. And you don't take a second to stop and see, oh shoot, my emergency brake has been on and I'm going so hard and so fast, but I'm not actually getting anywhere. So how many of you right now are where you want to be in your business? And how many of you are?
We're all on
the journey, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we are. How many of you are not where you want to be in your business? Okay, so what we're talking about today is have, do, be versus be, do, have. So many times in our lives, we think we have to have the thing to do things to be that person that we want to be, or to be happy. So how many times have you said, when I'm diamond, I'll be happy. When I'm 2-star, I'll be happy. When I'm 15-star, I'll be happy. When I'm elite, then I'll be happy, or I'll be whatever. I want you to write down a couple of things right now. Or like, for example, when I make $1,000 a week, I'll be more confident to then lead a team. Like, what is that thing in your head right now that when I'm blank, I'll be blank? So take a minute to think, and it should just be the first thing that pops in your head. And if anyone wants to be brave and share, I'd love that. Amanda, can I call you out as the leader to share yours?
I said, when I am more confident, I'll attract more leaders.
Love it. Perfect example. I won't call on anyone else, but does anyone else want to share theirs?
I'll share mine. My biggest hang up is helping my leaders grow. And so I said, when I feel like I'm doing something to help them grow, I'll feel like we've made some progress, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you're putting that on you. When I do something, it's constantly when Kaya, she is being so needy this morning. Kaya, you gotta chill for a second. Okay, so perfect examples. When I am blank, I will be blank. But success isn't a matter of doing, success is a matter of being. So just like we are not human doers, we are human beings. And that's been one of my favorite little mantras this whole past year is we aren't put on this earth to do more, be more, like all these things. We're just put here to be enough, to be ourselves. We are enough. You have every single answer that you need in your life within you. Kaya, come here. But when you keep pushing and doing and trying to do all the things, that's like resisting who you already are. You're telling yourself, I'm not enough the way I am, so let me go do this, take this training, learn this, do this, be more XYZ. When you already are that, you just need to embrace it. So for example, like, who do I need to be? You need to start with your identity and not the end result. Like, your worth is not elite. Your worth is not 15-star. Your worth is not 2-star. Like, you are that person. And once you are being the best version of yourself with what you already have, those end results are going to come naturally. But it's not about that end result for you to then be more confident. So, like, you can't hit 2-star and then be like, I'm confident now. No, you need to be confident to hit 2-star, to hit whatever that goal is. So in a real life example, there was this guy who was super overweight. I don't remember the exact specifics, but let's say he was 200 pounds overweight and he wanted to start going to the gym. Well, yeah, he probably needs to go to the gym for like 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it may be, but he wasn't just focusing on that end result of losing the weight. He wanted to become a person that went to the gym. So he went to the gym and drove there the first day, sat in his car, and turned around and went home. Do you think that helped him lose any weight? No. But he was becoming the type of person that went to a gym. So he did that for, let's say, a week. And then the next time he went to the gym, walked inside, worked out for like 2 to 5 minutes, turned around and went home. But he kept doing that every single day. And then a week later, he felt more confident to be in there for 10 minutes. And then a week later, 20 minutes. And guess what? 2 years later, even once he lost all of the weight he wanted to lose, he was still the guy that went to the gym. It started with just driving there, turning around and driving home. He became that type of person before he lost the 200 pounds that he needed to lose. And obviously we can all relate to that as health and fitness coaches of, you want it to be a journey, you want it to be a lifestyle. I'm sure we've all had clients who hit the 10 pounds they wanted to lose and then just stopped doing the things. and then they gain it back, because the whole point of I want my clients to fall in love with the journey, fall in love with the process, fall in love with doing this every day. And again, those end results will come, but if they're just focused on that end result, they normally get too frustrated and quit before they even get there. So think of characteristics of who you want to be. Think of that thing that you wrote down, and what is it going to take to become that person. So for example, say a goal was 15-star. I can't just be happy when I hit 15-star, or be confident or be successful when I hit 15-star, but what characteristics do I need to have for that? I want to be someone who wakes up early. I want to be someone who doesn't have any negative self-talk. I want to be a confident person. So what characteristics do you need to be to end up getting to that end goal you have, or just be and let go of that end goal, and it will come eventually. So write down a couple characteristics of who you need to be first before you can hit whatever goal you're working towards. So what are some characteristics that you guys are writing down?
I put, I'm over here in the chair, you can't see, way over here, but
Sit on my lap, Sheila.
I put confident, full of good energy, God-driven, organized.
Love it. And those are all things that you can control. No one else is dependent on that outcome. You can control your energy, your organization, being positive. You get to control those things and decide to be that person. So those were perfect examples. Does anyone else want to share?
I'll apply mine to my previous share. Example. Thank you. So I have a new coach group that's going in the tracker, and I'm doing it very slow. These are both people that are starting off super slow. I'm just doing the things where they just need to look at their tracker each day and mark off their workout, mark off their shake, read their personal development. And then I add something new each week. And yeah, it was just a national wake-up call was all it was. But I need to not second guess the process. I need to just keep showing up and giving them the next thing. And if they're feeling like they're not moving fast enough or whatever, then I just need to answer their questions and show them the way as they feel ready to run forward. So those things.
It sounds like you need to be confident in yourself and in your systems, and know that it's not on you, it's on them if they do the work. And you're giving them all the resources and tools they need. You can't put that back on you if they don't do it.
It's that codependency. That's something that I've always like, well, if I'm giving them the stuff, but if they don't do it, then I'm a failure and they're a failure. And what are we doing? What's wrong?
Right.
You know, the tools, it's really up to them.
So I think a good affirmation for you in the morning would be, I am confident in my systems, or I'm giving. You would need to word it in your words for it to work for you, but something like, I am giving them the tools they need to be successful, and I'm confident in myself and my systems. If they don't do the work, that is no reflection on my leadership abilities. All right, so keep writing those things down, and I want you to go back to those and apply it to that first thing we wrote down. So the characteristics that you need to be. And I want to I have some tips for you guys, and because I do like the motivation, inspiration stuff, but I always want to give tangible tips to go with that. So tip number 1 is be okay with it being hard. This business we know is simple, but it's not easy. Guys, this is the hardest thing I've done in my life, is to run a business. I forgot, I didn't introduce myself. Sorry, but I'm from Pennsylvania. I went to school for a Bachelor of Science degree in food science. I've worked in corporate America. I've gotten my master's degree. I've had 2 major hip surgeries, a major hernia surgery. I've gone through some crap in life, and running this business and dealing with all this shit in my head and just like literally mindset is the hardest thing I've ever done, but it's also changed me the most. It's brought like my best version out, and I'm still tearing down layers. I go to therapy, like, and if I didn't start this business and hear from people like Shalene Johnson or other like inspirational people that I look up to in the business world now say therapy's good, therapy's okay, I would have never went. Like, this business has given me so much personal growth. And when I started, I've been an athlete forever. I've ran cross country and danced competitively. Like, I did not join Beachbody for the physical transformation. So while I've had a physical transformation, I don't have some like crazy awesome weight loss story or anything. This business has been so much personal growth for me. It's absolutely insane. So let this be hard. Acknowledge and embrace that it's going to be hard and that it's not going to be easy, but let it change you. Like, I think we all get worried about change, and change is bad. And I hate change. Like, literally change and like having control of things is like what my anxiety stems from. I've learned through therapy, but changing is good. Like, let the hard times change you and mold you and make you stronger. So just know that you will find your purpose and who you're meant to be in life through the hard times. And I think owning a business and having to really get down to all the layers of yourself is like, what other way is there to do that? And like, all the personal growth that we have to go through is just going to make your life so much better. So be okay with it being hard. At our leadership in Arizona 2 weeks ago, Elizabeth Harkey said, you're not fighting for today. Like, you're not fighting for Success Club this month, or if you missed the lead, or like any of that stuff. Like, don't let that determine your worth. Like, you're fighting for 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, yes, you need to do all the daily things, but if something went wrong, just fix it and move on. And you're fighting for your future. You're not fighting for a Success Club point on the board. Sorry if that's like, if you're super heavy into Success Club. And trust me, I haven't missed Success Club for like 46 months in a row, but you have to think of what you're fighting for in the future. And I did miss Success Club 10 for the first time ever in October. And you know what? I don't care anymore. So that's a tangent, but I wasn't stressed about it. And I think if you can release that stress and you can release that guilt, and I know I'm still a great coach, just because I missed SC10 for the first time in 46 months makes zero difference of where I'm going in my future. So yeah, let it be hard, let it change you. And that, I'm an Enneagram 3 if you guys are big into the Enneagram. So I'm super like achievement, success oriented. And if I would have missed Success Club 10 in any other month the past 46 months, I would have let it destroy me. So do you know how much personal growth I've had to do to get to the point where I basically missed it on purpose, to show myself you don't need to hit a certain thing to still be a successful, be enough of a person. Okay, I'm going on a tangent here. But tip number 2, you have to do the work. Have habits. Again, it goes back to consistency. I love like woo-woo stuff now, like meditating and like crystals and like all the things. But I also don't think you can just manifest your way into success. Like, you have to do those things plus do the work. So again, this talk is a lot about being that person and sitting in silence and meditating, but I'm not going to just tell you to sit in silence for 8 hours a day and your business is going to magically grow. So you still need to do the work. A quote that I like is, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So have systems in place to hit your goals. For example, just like waking up, having an alarm clock, that's a system. Amanda and I think Amanda uses this too, but I use this app called Key Wake, and it's like a no snooze app that makes you wake up in the morning and you have to go take a picture of something, you play a mind game, and you like scroll through your affirmations, and it makes me wake up in the morning. Otherwise I'd hit there and hit snooze. It's Keywake, Kiwake, if you want it. It's amazing. But have your systems in place, whatever that means for you. I love habit trackers. So like, I make a little habit tracker thing every month, and this is not for the business. This is all self-care stuff. So no, I'm not going to have it all colored in. That would be a lot. Again, Enneagram type 3, a normal person would probably have like 3 things on here and I like take up the whole sheet. But I have things on here like meditate, work out, wake up without the snooze, gratitude, sit in silence, take my dog for a walk, like all these things that bring me joy outside of the business. So systems, make sure you have your systems. Tip number 3 is gratitude and perspective change. So gratitude and an abundance mindset. If you're living in lack, if you don't have this gratitude way of life, and guys, I promise you I've dealt with this and it's still something I work on daily, you're not going to get anywhere. So trade expectations for appreciation. So an example that I actually gave in March when I first gave this talk when Amanda heard it was in March, just this year, when I gave this speech, Tyler and I, my husband, had no idea where we were going to be living in a couple months. So he was finishing up a 2nd degree in school, and our lease was up in May, and he was applying to all these jobs, but we had no idea where we were going to move. Like, do you know how stressful that is? And he was about to graduate. We were planning a wedding. We got married in July. We were trying to plan a honeymoon. We were trying to figure out where we were going to buy a house, but like we couldn't make any of these decisions until he figured out what job he was going to get and where that was going to be. But instead of being stressed about that every day and being like, our lease is up in 2 months, but we don't know where we're living and we don't know where we're moving, and like that's a stressful situation, and I'm trying to plan a wedding and do all these things. Instead of being stressed, I flipped it to how cool is it that I've built my business up to be full time, so wherever he does get a job, we can choose the job that's best for him and I can move wherever. Like, how cool is it that even if we don't know the answer right now, it doesn't really matter because we're not tied down to this location. And I know that's not like something everyone can say right now, but that was pretty stressful. And now I can say in November, like he got a job in Fort Collins, we built a house, we had our wedding, we just moved in 2 weeks ago. Like, it's been a crazy freaking year, but things all work out the way they're meant to work out. So what's the point of stressing about it in the moment when you could just have gratitude about it and embrace the journey? Another example that might be more relevant to some of you is when I first started building my business and I was working in Arkansas. I worked at the Walmart and Sam's Club corporate offices in Arkansas for a couple years. I was working 50 hours a week. I was in grad school full time to get my MBA. And so I only had, I would wake up, this was before Miracle Morning or like morning routines were a thing. I so wish they were back then, but I didn't know, like, wake up and do your workout in the morning. Like, it literally just wasn't a thing. That's how long I've been coaching. It feels like forever. But I would wake up, go to work for 10 hours. We worked 10-hour days there, go to the gym, come home, or do my workout at home when I started coaching, cook, clean, eat, maybe watch an episode of TV with Tyler, and then do my MBA work from like 7 to 9. And then I would do coaching from like 9 to 10 or 9 to 11. And that was the only time of the day I had to work on coaching, but I loved it. So instead of thinking, oh, I have to stay up and do my coaching work, I just instinctively thought, how cool, like I loved it. It was my happy part of the day. I hated my job. I hated my MBA program. Like, it was my happy time from 9 to 11 to work my business. And my head did not hit that pillow at night. It was a rule I had with myself. I could not, Tyler was already in bed sleeping. I could not go in bed and let my head hit that pillow until every single thing was checked off on that business activity tracker. Again, I was not missing power hours. I did them, but with such great energy and such great, like, I was so happy because I had finally found something that I loved, that I thought, okay, once I saw the bigger picture, I didn't even know people did this full time when I first started. I was like, oh my gosh, this could like help get me out of my job. Of course I'm going to work on this from 9 to 11 at night. So instead of I have to do something, it is, how cool is it that I get to do this, and use that for whatever you need in your life. So my last tip is just taking time to be. Tip number 4, take time to be. Again, that just goes back to our very beginning of sitting in silence. If you can't just take time to be, how are you going to learn who you need to be? It's that time of sitting in silence. It's that time of meditating that you're going to have these thoughts come to you and things are just going to start to clear up in your life a little bit. Again, it was really hard for me at first. It's still not the most natural, easy thing, but my body actually craves that silence now. It craves that meditation. And I was the type of person that like goes to bed and turns the TV on. Like I just couldn't sit in silence. Like it was really, really hard for me. So start with 5 minutes in the morning. Start with even taking a walk in silence, or just breathing and taking a minute when you get in your car, instead of thinking, all right, I have to get from point A to point B. Just think, like, take a breath, and I'm grateful to be in this car, and I'm going to enjoy this drive to work. Like, it's all about that mindfulness. And that's something I've really worked on this past year. So close your eyes to wrap up this call and just take another deep breath. And think about that when I'm blank, I'll be blank. And then think about those characteristics that you wrote down that you can be right now. You need to be that type of person who doesn't have negative self-talk, who has positive energy, who wakes up early in the morning, or whatever those characteristics are that you wrote down. You can be that person starting today. You don't need to hit a certain goal. You don't need to have working coaches on your team. You don't need to have people hitting Success Club. You don't need to be 2-star diamond. You don't need to be elite. You need to be who you are in this moment to be able to do those things, to be able to eventually have the things you want. But it all starts with being that person of who you are right now. So remember to be and know your identity, and take a second every day and think about that. So that's all I have for you guys. We can open it up for any questions, Amanda.
So good. Thank you. It is like just what we needed to start the day. I think like I strategically put you first because I was like, okay, let's get in the mindset for like when the tangible thing. So I didn't even have to say that to you, and you said that too, you know, like I'm gonna get you in the mindset so that when the other tangible presentations come later, then we're already there. We still haven't even watched the super weekend video, so we're gonna do that sometime today too. But yeah, just learning to be, and I think some of us have been on that journey, and I was meditating for a while, and then I had this pull like that, like, is that godly? You know, my faith's so strong, so then I'm like, so then I haven't been doing it. I mean, I'm always in my Bible every day, but I'm not just being. Like, it's different for me when I'm reading and journaling than just sitting and being. And just today, like at the end of PIO, we did a whole thing of affirmation. Kate read a bunch of affirmations to us, and then we just sat. And no one said anything. She was done reading them, and we all just sat, and it felt so good. I don't know if anyone else. And then Kate was like, does anyone want to pray? And so then we just opened it up for prayer, and then we just sat. And then Kate sneezed. And like and wrapped it up, which was kind of funny. But like, but it was, I think we all felt comfortable just sitting this morning. And then hearing that from you, that we need to do that more often, I think was just like, okay, we're here. We hear you, you know? So good. I don't know if anyone else has questions or anything else to say.
I was just going to say thank you for sharing about the whole Success Club thing, because that has been like, I've always hit Success Club in my business. I almost did it last month, and I was so attached to what that meant, and it doesn't mean anything. You know, but I think that we attack because they push it so much in this business that is how you gauge your success, that's in your head, you know, and it just kind of fucks with you, you know. It does.
It is. And I like almost stopped myself because I know every leader is different, but then I was like, no, Amanda will like let me say this, because you have to like watch what you say to some people are all about Success Club, and I can honestly say at one point I was too. And if I would have had someone come on my team call me like, don't hit Success Club, I would have been like, shut up, like don't tell my team that. But there's a difference between putting your worth in something, defining your success and defining your worth by one thing, when if you didn't do the work, that's one thing. But if you did the work and you know that you're putting in what you need to put in and you didn't hit it, that's out of your control. And it is, it's like, we can't, are you going to let not hitting Success Club 1 month make you quit a business that you love. Like, I know people that have done that for like 60 months in a row, and then they didn't hit it and they feel like a failure and they quit. And I'm like, well, is that really what you were working towards? Or are you working towards vision and impact and this future that you want to have? So I'm glad that was helpful. And I'll be an open book and be real. Again, I missed Success Club 10 last month for the first time in I think like 46 months. Like, I have hit Success Club 10 or higher since January 2016. And I kind of hit it, didn't do it on purpose. I hit Success Club 8 because I was releasing that my worth or identity was tied up in Success Club 10. Whereas I'm still going to grow my business. I'm still going to grow my income and my vision and my impact. But what's your worth tied up in? And if it's so tied up in something, then that's a trigger to yourself to know, why is my worth tied up in that? And what do I need to work on to not define my worth and who you are and who you're being by an external thing? Does that make sense?
My worth is not in this damn hoodie.
Like, seriously, someone else said, if you've like read Build to Last, it's like, okay, yeah, you can get a jacket, or if you're making enough money and your vision's there, you can buy yourself a damn jacket. Like,
For sure. And even with Success Club, I know you know this, but like in the upper leadership, like we know that the Beachbody corporate is talking about changing that, and there's just a lot more talk around what's important. You know, are we just looking to sell a challenge pack, or are we actually looking to help change people's lives? Like, there's a huge. I think we're going to see some things changing in the business model in the next year with all of that.
Mm-hmm. I hope so. And if it doesn't, then you still just need to know what's true to you and how you want to build. And that can be Success Club. That can be, it's whatever you want. Like, some people love sending 100 invites a day. I don't want to build my business that way, but some people love it and enjoy it, and they know that to them. So it's all about knowing what you want. And I think you have to, again, sit in that silence and take the time to actually think, how do I want to build? What do I want my business to look like? Because you're going to hear from a million leaders in this company, and they all do it differently. So you need to know what way you want to do that, and then take bits and pieces from calls. I was the type of coach that would listen to a national wake up call and be like, oh, she's successful, I have to do it that way. But now I'm like, nope, I don't want to build like that. So I'm going to take this one little tip and implement it into my business. Any other questions? And again, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry. I'm Emily. I'm from Pennsylvania, born and raised. I went to Penn State, got my food science degree, worked in the food industry for a couple years, worked in corporate America, got my MBA, and wasn't happy. Again, it was like, I'll be happy when I hit honor roll. I'll be happy when I get good grades, or when I land this job. And I did all those things. I checked all the boxes, like great school out of college, 401k, benefits, living with my boyfriend, who's now my husband. Like, we got a dog, we rented a house. Like, we had all these things on paper from the outside looking in, and I still wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't happy because I never wanted to go to college for that. Like, I wanted to do something in health and fitness, but like with society and all that, I was like, no, I have to do what's gonna make me money or whatever. So that's when I found coaching, like a year and a half into working corporate. And it was finally that missing piece of like, this brings me so much fulfillment and joy and passion. But it's funny because that whole I'll be happy when then translated into my business, and I'll be happy when I hit elite. And then guess what? We hit elite last year, and I was like, still not like happy. Like, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, we got a cool jacket, like whatever. But like, I had to dive more into why am I still I'll be happy when. And that's when I really started working on all of this stuff, which is hard to admit sometimes, because like, you do all these things for your business, and it's not that I don't want to hit elite, or not that I don't want to do these things, but it's, again, doing the hard crap and doing the inner work that's going to get you to even better things and more things in life. So yeah, we moved out to Colorado. My husband went back to school. And now we just built this house, which is why there's nothing on my walls in the office yet. Everything is still a mess, and it's just life.
She lived in Pennsylvania for 14 weeks, like after her wedding, without her husband, like crazy.
Yeah, this year has been nuts, but it was finally slowing down a little. Any other questions or anything I can help you guys?
Is there, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was wondering, is there like a system or something that you use to like gain confidence when, let's say, like, you know, you sign clients up and give them everything that they need, you know, like resources, like, you know, that your stuff works and they're not doing the work on their side, and then you kind of take it like, I'm not a good coach, or I'm not a good, you know, because you think like they're failing at it because they're not doing the work, but then it like gets in your head. Is there something that you use?
Yeah, I would say it's not a system at all. It is that inner work of, I know I'm doing the best I can. I know I give them so much stuff. I give them welcome packets and resources, and sometimes I overgive, and I'm actually like taking a step back to be like, am I just overwhelming them with all this stuff? Like, let me break it down and make it more simple. And like, I think all you can do, and I tell my clients or my coaches this too, because they struggle with the same thing, but it's not, everyone has the same opportunity. And that's what's kind of cool about us partnering with Beachbody. It's not like you're making the workouts and you're making the nutrition plan and then they're not following it. It's like, no, they have the exact same resources that you have and that you're clearly following. So if they're not following it, that's on them. And that is, all you can do is like, I would recommend doing like a bi-weekly check-in, like something where it's not one-on-one, but you can send like a mass email to all your clients. So you're doing that individual touch point and you're knowing, I'm doing my job, I'm being the best coach I can. But when they don't answer or when they're not doing it, it's not on you. It's probably shit they have going on in their head that they need to work on. And yes, we can be there for that, but we're also not their therapist. Like, I pay a therapist a lot of money. I don't expect my coach to be my therapist, you know? Like, you have to draw that line as well. And it's kind of, I've heard like Bonnie Engel say this once, more with coaches, but you can do it the same for clients. And it's horrible to compare people to dogs, but like if you throw a ball to a dog and they don't bring it back, you're not going to keep throwing it. Like, that's kind of how it is with clients and coaches. Like, do this thing, bring it back to me. If they do it, they're ready for the next step. But if they don't, like, you just gave them the resources. So again, you have to know, I'm doing enough. I am enough. That's where it's working on that inner confidence and that inner knowing that you're just enough and you don't need to do more things. You need to be who you are and be enough because you are enough, and just knowing that and releasing the expectation on your clients and putting your worth in them. That sounds kind of harsh, but it's true.
Well, that's really good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else, girls? Got about 5 minutes till the next one. So take a
you
deep
so much,
breath.
Luciano.
It's so amazing.
So
Thank you.
good.
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys here. I'm gonna take a little group picture here.
You want to get closer?
Should we get close?
There we go. Hang on.
Oh, I feel a stretch in my hips.
We're all here.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. I don't know where I'm looking, but it's fine. Got it. I'll send that to you, Amanda.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Have fun at the rest of your retreat. It looks super cute in your little cabin there.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Em.
Bye.